Alright, just going to do a quick update because I'm kind of at a standstill here on the 883. So I've got the manifold off still. As you can see, I did clean it up a little bit, so the mating surfaces are going to be good to go when I'm ready to reassemble. I've got the manifold off here, and I've inspected it pretty thoroughly, and it looks to be in pretty decent shape. Problem I have is that I'm pretty sure these guys are warped. So I've ordered a set of the flanges. Just could not get this thing to idle or to run right very clearly, even though I replaced the seals, got everything back together. I could not get it to run right. I even was able to take it for a little bit of a spin around the yard. And it was very clear that this thing was not running right, and it was still sucking air in somewhere. So I'm going to order up. I have ordered up replacement flanges. I have another set of these seals if I need them, but I'm hoping that I can just use the ones that were just briefly installed, and it was clear that it just still was leaking. So I got the boot still in good shape, a brand new boot still. But like I say, I got a whole kit again if I need it. So I'm just going to take the carburetor apart real quick before I put it back together. I just want to get the jets out and just inspect everything. So this was in theory rebuilt. And when I took it apart, it looked pretty clean, and the accelerator pump is clearly working. So probably it was rebuilt properly and everything's good in there. But I just want to get in there one more time. Just get the jets out and inspect everything, make sure everything looks good inside before I put it back together, because I don't want to be chasing my tail on this thing when I put it back together. I also want to get all of the fuel out of this tank, because when I took the carburetor off, the little bit of fuel that came out didn't look very good. It did run on this fuel, but it looked pretty nasty, kind of brownish, not that nice clean gas look. So I want to get that out of there, put some fresh fuel in it as well. So this is kind of where I'm at with this thing, kind of waiting on parts. Once I get the parts in, then I'll hopefully be able to get this thing off of the lift so I can get the shovel head on. The only other thing left on this thing other than that stuff is this clutch cable. As you can see, that clutch cable not doing so good. So I ordered that as well. I'm going to have to get this side cover thing off, this add-on chrome thing. I'm not sure what's under there, so it'll be interesting to get that off and see what it looks like under there, because I can't get the derby cover off with this thing on there. So I'll get this off of there, and we'll get this apart and get the new clutch cable on there. Get the carburetor and manifold back on it. Hopefully she'll run the way she's supposed to. We know she's got good compression, so should be a runner as soon as I get that back together. So, all right, let's go take a look at the Shovelhead project. Okay, still working on the Shovelhead in the great room. But as you can see, the seat is now mounted in the appropriate spot where it is going to be on its pogo seat post there, and it's working. So this was a little bit of a project. Had to fix some stuff. So the seat post itself the rod on the seat post had been cut, so I had to deal with that. I also ordered a set of replacement springs for the seat post, and I had to play around with the different springs to get it weighted properly, because I wanted it to be pretty stiff, considering this is already a swing arm bike, so it's not going to be, it's not like it's a hardtail, so I didn't need a ton of extra spring there. But I am going to take this down the dirt road, hopefully. So I wanted a little extra, and I much prefer the look of the bike with the seat post as opposed to when it was sitting directly on the frame there. All right, so seat is mounted, sort of. It doesn't have all its bolts in. I'm a bolt short, but you can see what she's going to look like there. All mounted with the seat post. Now I put the heavy duty, I ended up taking it out and putting the heavy duty springs in and tightening it down as much as I could. I gave it as much spring tension as possible, and I'll show you what I mean here. It sinks down pretty good. I think between the swing arm suspension on this thing and this seat, though, should be able to take this thing down the dirt road without too much of a problem. But yeah, it's I guess it's got enough. Still have to grease it up a little bit more. She looks pretty good. Then I'll do something with I got the dashboard off still. I haven't put the dash back on because I want to do something with these lights. You can see there's 3 lights. One of them says Gen, and there's a blue one in the middle, and then there's an oil light. I'm assuming the blue one in the middle was for high beams, maybe. I'm probably going to use that for neutral light and oil. I'll get that working, and I don't know if I can make the generator light work because I don't think there's a place on the rectifier on this bike to put a generator wire, but I might be able to come up with something to make that work. Or maybe I'll do high beam and neutral, make the generator light neutral. But there are no lights in here, as you can see. Nothing is in here to accommodate that, so I'm going to make something. I actually have 3 LEDs and some current limiting resistors. I'm just going to put them in, make a 3D printed thing to go here to mount them so that they'll sit right below these lenses there, and then I can put this back on. She looks pretty good. That's how she's going to look. I'm going to get these things off of here because they won't work with these blinkers I want to use because the bolts aren't the right size. So we're going to want to change that for something that will work, or I'll just take those out and do something different with these. I haven't decided exactly how that's going to go, but basically good with the seat. So, what's next? So I'm going to get those parts in for the 883, get that thing going and off of my lift, and then my Sportster, which is under the cover behind the Shovelhead there, the 2004 1200, that is going to go on the lift to get its intake seals done as well, because it had symptoms of bad seals when I put it away last season. So I'm going to take that apart and do the seals on that, and I am just about ready to get that out into the wind this year because it is starting to get warm. Right now it is 61 degrees outside at 11:30 in the morning. I could be out in the wind today. So I'm going to get that thing out as soon as possible. She's registered and insured and ready to hit the pavement, so that one's going to go out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So that's why I really hope that I don't need to use the set of seals that I have for that one on the 883. So hopefully I can reuse those seals because I'd really like to get this Sporty out in the wind again without having to wait for another set of seals to come in. So hopefully that's going to go well, and then after that the Shovelhead will go on the lift and the project will begin. We know that this thing is a runner. I got this thing running actually a couple of days ago. I got both bikes started up. I got this thing running, and it kicked over, and I don't know, 4, maybe 5 kicks total, including prime kicks. So this thing is a runner. She is ready to go. Once the rest of the little small stuff is out of the way, she'll be ready to hit the cement. But she needs front brakes. She needs fork seals. I need to get that side of the outer cover on the primary off and clean that out, because when I looked inside the primary, it had some gunk in there I want to clean out. I don't want it to end up in my oil, because this is not a isolated primary on this. I also need to give it an oil change. I also need a battery for this. I don't have the proper battery in this. This has the battery from my dirt bike in it, which actually is turned around the wrong way because the terminals are on the wrong side. So I need to get the proper battery for this. It doesn't need to be much bigger than this, because this isn't a kick-only bike. There's no electric start on this. But I do need the batteries, and I do have the battery cover for it. And we'll put that back on as well. So when I had this running just the other day, it had really good oil pressure. It was up to about 40 on the gauge here, my new gauge. So we know it's pumping oil around, and I've already looked inside the oil tank while it's running and seen that it's circulating oil. So I'm confident we're getting oil circulating around the bike, and it starts right up. It's going to need tires eventually. Right now, these don't look too bad. They're not dry rotted too much, or they have great tread on them. They're not too stiff and all hard, but I am going to end up replacing those tires because the date codes are well out of date on both of them. The rear brakes work, but they don't work real well. The front brakes don't do anything in this thing, so I will need to do the front brakes. And of course, this has this really neat panhead front end on it from the early 60s. So I'm going to need to look up the brakes and the seals for this and order some parts. But we're really not that far from going down the road with this thing. She starts up and runs so well that I'm not really anticipating a lot of trouble getting her out in the wind. So pretty soon I'm anticipating getting this thing out on the road.